Hello again. I'm here today to talk to you about your Phase 1 proposal paper. So as I'm sure that you've been working on, you've been thinking about a social issue or problem that is in need of an integrative solution. So what does that mean? That's what this video will be all about. I'll try and cover as much information in here as I can to help you in writing this section of your paper. So first of all, just the logistics of the paper. The Phase 1 proposal is meant to be about 3 to 4 pages in length. It needs to be written in APA format. There is a requirement for it to have at least 3 sources, one of them being your textbook, and then the other 2 can be popular, credible sources. So what that means, popular, credible sources, needs to be something that has an author that's in a credible book or magazine or newspaper or something that is a credible source. Uncredible sources are things like blogs or Wikipedia or anything without an author. You can use websites, credible websites for information as well, but those won't count as one of your required sources. So what I really want to see is sources giving an opinion. And so websites are usually more factual and don't really have a specific person's opinion. So you can use those for statistics. That's usually really helpful. But I still want to see at least two popular authors that have an opinion on the subject, someone who's considered an expert. So what you'll be writing about in the paper is exactly that, writing about the social issue. So what social issue are you looking at this semester? And how is it a real world issue? You'll spend about the first 1.5 pages talking about the social issue or problem, explaining why this is such a big real world problem. This is where your 2 popular sources come in, and they're talking about that they think that it's a problem too, so that we can see the magnitude of the issue. After that, you'll be spending, the rest. I'm sorry, I should back up a little bit. It should be about 1.5 to 2 pages, maybe even 2.5 for the first part where you're really talking about the problem and the magnitude of it and kind of hooking your reader so that they know where this paper is going. Then you want to talk about why it is in need of an integrative solution. So why is this such a complex problem that it cannot be solved by one single discipline? This is where you're really going to use the information from your textbook. So you should be citing the textbook in this section really often. Explain what is integration. Your readers don't know what integration is yet. So explain to them, what is that? How do you determine if something needs an integrative approach? So talk about those pieces that you're gathering from the textbook. And then you'll end this paper by just introducing the 2 disciplines that you plan to look at. So you can get some of that information on the disciplines from chapter 4. And then some of the good key information for explaining what integration is, you'll find in chapters 1 through 3. And so if you need to go back and review those chapters, this would be a good time to do that. Now, if you're struggling to find a topic, what you want to be thinking about is, what are you passionate about? Some examples of things that people have done in the past. Students have written about things like homelessness in the suburbs. So something very serious, but then also getting it kind of to a specific topic. Another good example was lack of nutrition in first-year college students. And so one student who was really interested in health sciences and in college students wanted to talk about the lack of nutrition and what that means for a student. So she looked at it from the perspective of psychology and biology, so that she could look at the physical effects that it had on a student and also the emotional and psychological effects that it had as well, to kind of see 2 different perspectives on the same issue. Just a couple of examples. Other things that you could look at, you want to just think about something that you're passionate about and then narrow it down to something very specific. Sometimes it helps to do some preliminary research to see what kind of research has been done out there. are there any articles written on this subject? Is it too broad? Is it too narrow? You want to try and find something that's going to be very focused, so that you are not overwhelmed by the amount of research that's out there. But then again, you don't want something that's too narrow. So another example, a student that I had in the past one time wanted to write about childhood obesity causing musculoskeletal defects. So, great topic, very interesting. But when she started to get into it, she was having a hard time. And the reason why is because it was not an issue that needed an interdisciplinary research process approach. The answers were very clear. It was all within biology. So it was saying being obese as a child caused musculoskeletal defects. So it really wasn't an integrative problem. It could be solved within biology, and the answer was clear. So in order to choose a topic that will work for this type of research paper, it needs to have some level of controversy to it, so that it's not a clear answer. When it's a clear answer, maybe it can be solved within just one discipline. But when it is complex and needs to be looked at from different disciplines, then we know that it's in need of an integrative solution. So this is the time to build a good foundation. You'll be building this paper throughout the rest of the semester as well. And so certainly ask me for help if you're struggling to find a topic. I definitely want to help you to get off to a good start on that. And like I said, look out there to see what kind of research has already been done. And you want to find some good popular articles to really hook your reader. This paper will then be built on by the literature review and then eventually by the developing a solution to the problem. So it's just the beginning of this, but a great foundation. So best of luck to you as you're writing your proposal or your Phase 1 paper.